Swiping through endless videos on TikTok recently, I stumbled across one of the most compelling and evocative images that speaks volumes about the spiritual lives of many moderns today. From the outstretched arm of the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro, that massive stone effigy of Jesus overlooking the city, this unknown adventurous with a parachute strapped to his back takes a giant leap of faith, free-falling for 2.5 seconds before pulling the cord on his chute and gliding safely back to earth. I've known many people over the years who have leapt from the arms of Jesus, not with parachutes strapped to their backs, but with backpacks stuffed with so many doubts and questions that went unanswered and silenced and condemned for so long that they eventually abandoned their faith altogether. They took a giant leap of doubt, a leap of faith, away from the God they had always been told about, but could no longer reconcile with their real lived experience, away from the God who had ossified into something like a stone-cold effigy that was no longer life-giving or life-saving. A God who became as cold and impassible and immutable and unresponsive as granite. Chapter 4 of Life After God is for those who have ever wondered how, if God never actually changes, how could it ever be said that God is personal and loving and caring or involved in our lives? It's a question almost as old as time itself. Does God, like humans, like all creation, ever experience real feelings, or a change of heart or mind, or a change of plans, or even a change in nature? Or does God sit idly by, uninvolved in and unmoved by the events of the world or the circumstances of our lives? There's a God in the Bible who listens and discerns and experiences our needs and circumstances in real time, right along with us moment by moment, and responds to our needs according to God's unchanging essence and God's ever-changing experience. If it's true that God is love, then just like human forms of love, for that divine love to have its fullest effect on the beloved, achieving the highest good for the one who is loved, that love must always change. It must always adapt and take in new information and discern what effect it has had so far, and then to consider what new possibilities might be best for the beloved in this moment and in the next. Love always influences both the lover and the beloved. This is the very nature of love in our human relationships, and so it is with God. As it says in Scripture, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. God's mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. God's love never changes, and yet God's love is new every morning. Which means that maybe we don't have to leap from those arms after all. Maybe we can leap toward them.